let's get right into this. So, trade idea 10/16/2025. Let me get MetaTrader 5 opened right on my phone right at the start of this. Today, decent day once again. What we were looking for didn't really happen, but then we had a secondary bias. And that got filled, so we were able to squeak just around a band once again today. So, no complaints. We did good this week, but just like I'm really itching to get one of these big trades again because it didn't happen at all last week. It happened the week before, or this week. It happened last week, which was nice. So I'm really hoping either tomorrow I'll hit one or next week I'll hit one. But then again, it's just like that's the biggest issue probably is our timing's been all off. Usually this peak volatility that's been happening over here, usually this will hit right around like morning hours. So like London, New York overlap, but instead it's happening right around Asia session, which is really odd, not gonna lie. But so once again, we're stuck in kind of this like shitty fucking accumulation area. 2.990. Okay. Okay. So we might actually be smoking something. So we actually did get the liquidity we wanted today. So right around 202,990. Okay. So what made us have this trade bias? Well, let's see if we can get it back here. All right, so we can't. So really what we were looking for was we had a large time frame retrace here. And it was on here earlier, but we had a little bit of a smaller 62. So we had kind of our 62 from here. So we were more or less thinking bearish bias. We were thinking, we hit that, and then we were thinking something bearish. Originally, what we were really thinking is we saw that we got a higher high, and then we were thinking, well, in a perfect world, we're going to want a little fib retrace right here. In a perfect world, we would have wanted a retrace down to since we were in an uptrend, remember that. We would have wanted a retrace to one of these areas of liquidity, and then we would have wanted to take a bullish trade. What's the issue with that idea? Well, who knows when that shit's gonna hit? Who knows when we haven't even flipped bullish yet? So, what do we think? Oh, right here, go to this last established high. You can see this here. Okay, so that's the wrong tool. Don't want that. So, we're really thinking 120% extension. That's there. Then, we're thinking, where's this last high? Since we are in fact on a long-term downtrend or a longer term. Long term, obviously, we're almost always in an uptrend. That's just how market works. So we're looking for a retracement to once we get above 0.79, if we don't break through it with like straight up convictions, like maybe if this candle broke it, we'd be thinking something. But did this candle fucking break it? No, it did not. We had accumulation. We had a slight pullback right here. Slight stall, so that's feeding in. Same thing with this 62%. So that means that we're respecting the fib today. So same can be said about this. So what do? We get the setup, we retrace to some form of liquidity up here, and then we get over here, and this is more or less what really did it for me. Let me see exactly where I put it in. Okay, so we had this right here, and we're already, you can kind of see, we're in a micro uptrend, and then we got into a micro downtrend here. You can see my exact thoughts, actually. I'll go right through right here. So what do? Higher high, higher low. We're on a long-term bearish bias, and we retrace on the high time frame. So this could be a pretty big trade, which I didn't even see this coming, to be honest with you. I took a pretty small trade. But we see this microstructure right here. I was, in all honesty, I thought we were gonna, because we cleared this zone, we cleared right through. So I was expecting just a shallow pullback, and then I was expecting us to launch more or less up to here to take this, and then I was expecting a major crash, because I think 62-78 range was like around here, which we disrespected pretty easily, but that didn't happen. So what we saw this lower low right here, we saw this one here, and once again, we were thinking, we were originally going to want to wait to violate this so we could really maximize our return and then get down. Did that happen? No. So we noticed this, that we got a break of structure, we got a lower low right here. So I'm going to be honest, like it's probably pretty obvious, but I was pretty timid to trade this because I was really highly expecting us to get an upward move, which I would have taken, and I would have rode the way down. I wasn't expecting to crash this soon. So we saw this micro, kind of mid-range break of structure to the downside, and then we got this right here, this order block fill, which I was strongly considering entering on this, but once again, I was kind of waiting for more confluence. So instead, I entered on this micro break of structure right here, which you can see, highs right there, and then we get a lower low right here. So we entered on this candle. We entered with our short position, which was, where were we? Oh, right here. So we enter our short position, stop loss right here, and basically we waited. We risked about 1,000 because once again, we were thinking we were going to hit that. And then, honestly, I think we risked less than 1,000 because we only made like a band on this. And we took partials right at this 38% retrace. I purposely left some of this up on here because I was kind of done trading for the day, and I wanted it for this kind of little post-trade review. So we scaled out, I think, a little less than half of our position here. Then, once we got this kind of strong rejection, we ended up, it was kind of a mixture of things. I was pretty tired. I kind of just wanted to get out of market and focus on my classes for the day. So I was like, we're already making a band. So I scaled the rest of my position pretty much right on this like triple bullish candle here. Now, could we have like wrote it out? Yeah, there's nothing really truly invalidating it here. What would have been like if I was sticking to my strategy and I like really wanted to stay in market, we wouldn't even have invalidated right here, because that's pretty much the same. We wouldn't have really gotten out of this trade until this micro BOS down here. So it would have been like a $4,000 trade, which that's really on me. Not gonna lie, I probably should have just stuck it out. But once again, we were right around this 10:30 midday slump kind of time, 10:30, 11ish, where market likes to slow down. And then B, it's just, I don't know, lately market, like this entire week, market's kind of been off. It's been kind of low volatility. And we were really just taking a trade because it was it was just a good setup. But now we have a refined bias for tomorrow, depending on what happens overnight, obviously. But we're going to be thinking some sort of retrace up here, and then we're thinking downtrend for the rest of the way. This is going to depend on if we can take these lows. I see this double low establishing here, so we might switch bias. I think that market's definitely going to pull to this zone tonight, or at least have some motivation, because you can kind of see this equal low starting to establish here. Like, double low right here. And it's also all these here, so you could kind of set up a minor range here, like here, maybe, and like right here, maybe like around this area. But I mean, off of the gate, we're either thinking a lower high gets formed here, and then from that lower high, because we broke a major structure right here, and from that lower high, we get like a lower low below here, and then we'll go in. Well, realistically, we'll like see which way market's going and see if we can get the small move and then the big move. Because that's just something I kind of like to do because you maximize profits. Or if we don't drive any lower here, and this ends up being like how this low is, and we go up here, we could easily go into this zone. But if we do retrace all the way to that zone, we're pretty much thinking bearish bias until this zone. Because then as long as we can get a BOS, there's no reason to really go up any higher before taking this out. Because long term, we are on a downtrend. This was close to breaking it, but it didn't. So, yeah. Looking long term, probably, honestly, this is probably the best prediction we can make here. Boom, draw a little fib, probably get a somewhere between the 79% 62% range, fair value gap right there, probably retrace right there, and then we'll go down for a little bit, and then we'll probably downtrend. That's the only issue, is we haven't really tapped one of these zones yet. So you can obviously make high return trades if you're like trading the actual structure, but there's magnets really in both directions at this point, which kind of stirs up the bias a little bit. But yeah, I'll check the exact amount right here. Yeah, right around 1,000 today. We're ending the week pretty good amount. See what tomorrow has in store. I do have a half day tomorrow. Fucking literally 15-minute periods. So I'm not sure how that's gonna affect my trading. Not sure if I'm gonna get any trades in, to be honest with you. But if one presents itself and I'm in an opportunity where I can enter a market, we'll definitely be taking advantage of it. And that's about all. Good luck, y'all, and see y'all in the next.